salute to all y'all, man. And for all the ones tapping in, I appreciate you for hearing what your boy gotta say, man. I'm gonna keep it real and I'm gonna get to it, y'all. So, this video is, well, slow progression doesn't mean that you have failed. You know, you just started, chosen one. Whether you are, like I say, whatever gender you is, it don't matter. You know, you just gotta believe. But while slow progression is not necessarily mean you have failed. You didn't fail. You just started. That's your problem, y'all. You know, people want results faster than the things they are doing. You must push out more of what you are doing to see that, y'all. You're not gonna get results overnight, y'all. You know, and the people who want that, or you know, are looking for that, you gonna either burn yourself out, or you just gonna give the fuck up and feel dumb because you're doing this for the other reason. You know, you're doing this to blow. You're doing this, like I say, to have everybody look at you like you are above them. Your time will come. You just need to stop worrying about it and decide on what you are trying to do. You know, so you didn't fail. You know, you might not be succeeding yet, but yes, you are, because you are still fulfilling what it is that you see yourself as. So you never failed. You just need to give it enough time to see everything generate, y'all. So if you want my advice, y'all, and you're looking about why the fuck am I not getting nowhere, or why do I feel stuck, that's why. You know, you're probably second guessing yourself. Do you know your worth? Do you know that you are valued? And if you are valuable, well then you ain't gotta second guess nothing, because people are either gonna fuck with you for you being real, or you know, they not as real as you, so they gonna bounce. So that's why I say, y'all, you need to stop putting, you know, what you are seeing either on the media or in person above yourself, y'all. If you truly want to be someone of abundance, you know, everybody wants an abundant lifestyle, but they're not gonna get that just from putting in the work alone. You must love what you are doing, one. Two, you must actually have a passion for this, you know, because how are you going to do something forever, y'all, if you don't find nothing good about it, y'all? Look at people, for example. Look at people who went to the army and shit like that. You know, they might not have wanted to do it, but they probably didn't have no other choice because they were lost. So they just took it and went with those 4 years. Now, I'm not saying that you don't have to do that. I'm just reminding you how people think, y'all. You know, they didn't know what they wanted to do, so they went to the army, right? Well, those 4 years, I'm not gonna say they lost 4 years, but those 4 years are gonna either make them or break them, y'all, depending on when they are there, how they feel about it. That's what I say. The greatest response I'm gonna tell you is to take a risk on yourself, because if you don't take a risk, well, you won't really know whether, you know, it works or it doesn't, you know. And I'm not gonna say it will never work. It's always gonna work. You know, this life shit and what you are doing, it's inevitable for you to, you know, not win because you don't believe that you can win, y'all. You are gonna win though if you are showing up every day. You know, it's not about progression. It's about having fun doing something that you see yourself as, y'all. So this is the video, man. This is why, you know, you might not be getting where you want to go, or you might be second questioning yourself, like, am I doing this right? You know, do people actually fuck with me? You know, do you fuck with yourself? That's what you want to ask yourself, because if you do, well, you're gonna worry about helping people whether they want to be saved or not, because there's some people in this world that really do, but they don't know where to go, or you know, how to start things. So that's why I remind y'all, family, this shit goes hand in hand with everything in life, y'all, because it's not about just your purpose. It's about what you are doing, you know, who you are around. You know, do they question themselves, y'all, because you are who you hang around with. You know, people ain't ready to hear this shit, but it's better to be real with the people who watch than to, you know, sell them a lie, and you know, they feel better about themselves knowing that they didn't do shit, y'all. So I'm going to tell you right now, if you are not doing nothing with your life and you are lazy, well, that's just who you are as a being, y'all. You know, I didn't make that up. That's what society has taught us. You know, for the people who don't do shit, y'all are lazy. But if you are trying to do something, no matter if you are good or bad at it, you can always elevate. You can always, like I say, get better at something. You know, the weakest people, y'all, who are in the gym didn't get stronger overnight. It took them a little bit of while. But what they didn't, like I say, leave behind was that consistency. And they might have ate better, or they might have just fasted and not ate nothing because they really wanted that body that they seen or they had envisioned. It's just like, you know, you're looking for your wife, or you're trying to, you know, attract your soulmate, chosen one. She's not coming out of the blue. She's coming when you are least expecting it. She's coming when you are not worried about it. She's gonna be there when you feel like you are more so focused on yourself, because then again, y'all, nobody wants someone more that wants them than their own goals and ambitions. So, if you want to know what the most attractive thing is, it's you never stopping at what you are good at, y'all. That's the goal right there. That's the cream on the cake, y'all. You just must want it bad enough, y'all. You know, you see me show up every day, y'all. Not because people watch me or they don't, but because I see years from now, y'all, you will see, like I say, my progression in the timeline that I am entering, you know. All I preach is that for the people who watch me now, y'all, whether you subscribe or not, just keep watching, because over, you know, a period of time, you will see me advance and get better at these messages. But this is, you know, the most important, you know, topic to discuss about. That's why I got on it today, y'all, because people mistake progression or slow progression with no progression, y'all. But how can that be, y'all, if you just started, you know? If your favorite YouTuber or your favorite content creator has did something in blue overnight, y'all, well, they did something for that or to get there, you know. Unlike you, y'all, you don't have that kind of position, so you gotta, you know, build yourself up from the ground. But that's better though, because no one can take it from you, y'all. You know, you will feel better about yourself because, like I say, it's you in the silence now, you know. When you get no views, when you get no attraction, when you get nothing but the wall or silence, y'all, it's only you and the wall. So it's you and your inner strengths. So what are you gonna do? Are you gonna leave that behind, or are you gonna trust yourself enough to keep going when no one's watching, y'all? When no one fucks with you? When, you know, maybe your bitch left you, y'all? Or are you gonna give her power to where she crushed you? No, because you are so much more worth than what the fuck they're trying to push onto you, chosen one. You just must believe that, y'all. You know, that's why I make these videos, y'all, so you can see your worth. But I can't, you know, show you your worth. You must have to see it for yourself. You know, that's why I say it all starts with working out first, y'all. You know, if you are a man, y'all, and you are trying to feel good about yourself, get in the best shape of your life, y'all, because that right there is gonna show you how much discipline you actually have, y'all. And once you get that discipline down, that's when your purpose comes. And once you knock down purpose and discipline, y'all, nothing's gonna go or get in the way of that, because you're always gonna stay on the road, you know, whether they fuck with you or whether, like I say, they don't, because you're on a different pedestal, y'all. You know, your vision is something that you see, and it's tunnel vision, y'all. Not everybody sees that, because some people got different things going on in their life, y'all. You're going to school, college, you know, do what you want to do. I'm just reminding you to not give up on yourself so easily, y'all. If you're not seeing results, because most people in this world give up, y'all. You know, they can't take failure, y'all, because they feel like they have just exposed themselves, or they feel like they're humiliated, y'all. That's what a humiliation ritual is, y'all. To make you feel like you did something you didn't want to partake in, right? But if you look at my channel, y'all, you don't see me, you know, relying on anybody else for attention. You see me pushing out content that is needed. You see me trying to remind you that, you know, if you are down, well, you know, take that self-revive, man, and get your ass back up, because you didn't fail, you're still alive. God didn't, you know, diminish you yet, y'all. You still have time to show the creator, or to show, like I say, whoever you look up to, that you still have worth. Now the question is, what are you gonna do about it now? Are you gonna get your ass up and go hit the gym? And are you gonna take your life more serious? Or are you gonna stay down in this pit, man, burning, just, you know, hurting, you know? I've been at your position before, if you are there now. You know, I was there my whole life, yo. And that's why I tell y'all, once you start rising for yourself, yo, it's a feeling that no one else can give you but, you know, you. Because you're finally starting to see your worth show to the surface, you know. It doesn't matter what type of content or dish I, you know, give out to the public. As long as it's important and it helps you look at life differently, y'all, well then I won. Because it's not about, you know, me pushing out the message. It's about me self-reflecting and showing y'all that, you know, this is why I never stop, y'all. Because, you know, I have the power of belief, y'all. I have the power of, you know, knowing that whatever happens today or tomorrow, if, you know, I'm on the road today, well then I can never get knocked off unless I knock myself off, you know? That's literally what it is, yo. You know, people, they get into that state of being a shell, yo. Especially if your girl has left you, or you know, she shows you that she has more power because that's how you see it, you know? Nah, it's just you need to remove shit that's not serving you, yo, so you can, you know, finally realize what life is trying to show you, yo. You know, you might want, you know, synchronicities, or you might want, you know, a sign that you're doing the right thing. But if you're watching me now, this is your sign. This is your sign right now to elevate and to keep going. Don't give up on yourself just because, you know, you're not seeing, you know, like I say, your potential yet. And if you don't stop now, y'all, while nobody's fucking with you, well then when everybody starts fucking with you, they gonna wanna ride your wagon or feel like they was there the whole time when you know what was, like I say, shown to your eyes, man. So if you really wanna elevate, y'all, it starts with hitting the gym, y'all, first. The gym is the first thing you should be doing, y'all, if you don't have a purpose, because, you know, that consistency and that discipline that you are putting on your body, y'all, well, it shows because you see how strong you have gotten and you see who you were to, you know, who you once were, y'all. You're not that weak motherfucker no more who ain't got no tissues and bones, you know. Now you got, like I say, flesh on your skin to, you know, up the, you know, tension for you to feel like you can take more damage. But before I end this video, y'all, I just want to remind you, man, the topic was why progression, and even though you might not be getting it, slow progression is better than no progression, y'all. And when I say progression, I mean the way you convert your purpose, you know, or just being in the gym, y'all. That's progression because you're still getting stronger as long as you work that hoe out. You know, you might ask me, what's up with your profanity? But I'm not like everybody else, y'all. I gotta give it to you the rawest, coldest way because nobody else will, y'all. People might try to sell you a facade, or they might try to, you know, get your hopes up by giving you something that ain't for you to hear. But if you can take being in the depths now, well then you shall rise eventually, y'all. If you really want to. So I advise y'all to do some self-reflecting, man. You know, you might be living externally too much, y'all. So you gonna have to search for the answers within you, because you have the answers, you just feel lost, so you don't trust yourself, man. You know? Some words of encouragement I would like to share before I end this video, man. You know, for an example, y'all, you know, my whole life, y'all, you know, I was outcasted or I've been misunderstood, y'all, because it's not that I trusted the wrong people. It's just I let myself become too much of an opening, y'all, to where people feel like they can fuck with you and get out your way. And I see that now. So that's why, you know, I don't tolerate nothing no more. I just move alone. The wise move in silence, y'all. The powerful ones, no pain. So that's why they're here now, giving you something, you know, different, y'all. But, you know, just remind yourself that when you are not seeing progression, you started for a reason. Don't let that reason break you, because you seen it in yourself, yo, when you started. You know, you seen it. All you gotta do is live like you're already there. That's all you have to do. Don't miss showing up. You know, stay humble and stay quiet, y'all, because your words impact others, y'all, around you. You may not know that, but yes, they do. And that's why people come back for more. So once you speak less, you know, show your strength and are humble to earth, y'all, well, you will get it, because you know that strength is not in you talking. It's about you showing up when no one else does, y'all. And that's what separates winners from losers, or millionaires from motherfuckers who are broke and live in them dumpsters. But I believe in you though, chosen one, because ain't nobody else believe in me. So that's why I do believe in you, whether you watch this or you don't, or whether you like or you don't like. I'm not asking you to do none of that. I'm just reminding you that the message is what is truly powerful, y'all. When you learn how to dissect it and you use it for your advantage in this world, y'all. Most people are gonna charge you for this shit, but not me though, because I know that everybody's path is not for everybody, y'all. So remember, don't give up on yourself just yet. Keep going. The results will come. You will see signs that are telling you to stay on the path. But it's up to you. And I'm going to tell you right now, don't give up on yourself, man, because that's the worst thing you could do. If you give up on yourself, you are admitting defeat, y'all. You are pretty much asking, the Creator to take you back to where you once were before a year. I know you want to go there, but I'm just reminding you, have a reasoning to why you want to live, man. Find your reasoning to why you are trying to, become something. You want to be rich, yeah. Your ass wants the baddest female this planet has to offer, right? I know you do, but how are you gonna get that, y'all, if you're not becoming what, old girl wants you to be? She doesn't want you to be broke and be worn and doubting yourself. No, she wants to see you act out of, that king like deity you are supposed to be, so she can look up and admire you, and her ass will stay wet forever if you can just turn back, the hands of time, y'all, and start now. But I'm remember this when I'm at the top, y'all, because we are rising every single day on this channel. The thing about me is I believe, and I hope that by just watching this you believe, or you start to, because when things unfold in your reality, y'all, you will thank me later, y'all. All you gotta do is not give up on yourself, man, because if you give up on yourself, well, everybody's gonna see you as a quitter, and it's gonna affect you because they're not gonna fuck with you the same way. So I give y'all one last thing, man. Never give up. Life's too short. You could die tomorrow. So, yes, I'm going to advise you to stick to your purpose, man. Work out every day and fulfill what it is you love doing, because if this was your last day, you want to say that you enjoyed doing this before I exited it, But come outside, get this sunlight, get more energy, so, you can give back in return, y'all, so you can begin with something better, y'all. That's the power. That's the strength. And that is all you need, because nobody's gonna have your back, and nobody wants to see you win. I'm telling y'all, literally, nobody wants to see you win in this world, because their emotions are gonna take over. That jealousy and that envy will appear in front of you, y'all, and you will see that. So that's what I say. In this channel, I remind you to get your ass up and go do your purpose right now, before you regret it later, or years from now, where you are. But I'll see y'all, chosen one.